Now let's continue on to look at this composition of human blood. The human blood consists of 55% of plasma and 45% of cell components. Plasma is the medium of transportation in the body, and the main component is water. And we have blood cells consists of the red blood cells, also known as erythrocytes, platelets, and white blood cells, also known as leukocytes. There is some interesting facts over here. That is this artificial blood. Okay, so if you are interested to find out more about this, you can look into the website and read more on it. Now this is the picture of the main components of blood and also the structural components, the cells. Now this is the table of the blood plasma component with their respective function. So water is the main component in the plasma, and it is about 90%. It is an important medium for transportation and also solvent for gases, ions, digestive products, and excretory substances. Okay, at plasma proteins, we have fibrinogen, albumin, globulin. Okay, so these terms you have to remember because sometimes they will ask about it. Now, fibrinogen, we are going to look at it later on when we discuss mechanism of blood clotting. And albumin is important in controlling the blood osmotic pressure. Okay, also we have this globulin, which is a type of antibody that is involved in the body defense mechanism. Okay, next is the solutes. Solids include the nutrients like the glucose, also the excretory substances such as the urea and respiratory gases. Okay, and here are the functions which you can read on. And we also have these hormones and enzymes. Hormones is a chemical that is responsible in controlling the physiological activities. And enzymes, I'm sure you are familiar with this. We have discussed about it in the previous chapter in nutrition, and you'll be able to give various examples of enzymes. And they are important in in catalyzing the metabolic processes of the cells. Okay, now next is this table on the blood cell types. Okay, the blood cell types. So the first one, let's look at erythrocyte. Okay, which is also the red blood cells, the side view and also the top view. Okay, sometimes people call this erythrocyte is like a donut. Okay, but just that it doesn't have a hole in the middle. Okay, why do you call it a donut? Because of the concave region here, biconcave. Okay, biconcave disc shape. Why is it biconcave? It is because to enable the TSA to volume ratio to be large. And we have learned about this before. If this is large, this value is big, that means it is good for gaseous exchange. Also, when upon maturity, this erythrocyte will not have a nucleus. Okay, the reasoning is because when you don't have a nucleus, you will be able to load more hemoglobin in it. Okay, and hemoglobin is very essential in the red blood cells. It is the one that gives the blood the red color, and it is the one that have this heme group, which is able to bind oxygen. Right, one hemoglobin structure is able to bind to 4 oxygen at the same time. Now hemoglobin, okay, this one also you have learned previously when we discussed about this transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide in respiration. Hemoglobin upon binding with oxygen will form this complex structure known as the oxyhemoglobin. Okay, this is when the oxygen partial pressure is high. Then they will travel to the tissue or the cells that is in need of this oxygen. Upon reaching those cells, these cells will have a low partial pressure of oxygen, and that is when oxyhemoglobin will dissociate, once again releasing oxygen. Okay, and the oxygen will diffuse into the cells, and the cells will make use of the oxygen for respiration. Alright, so here are some other characteristics which you can read on for these red blood cells. Okay, next is the platelet. Okay, the platelet they are very important because they are the one that is involved in the blood clotting process. Okay, they do not have a regular shape like this erythrocyte, and they are produced from the fragments or strips of cell cytoplasms, also originate from the bone marrow, and they have a very short lifespan, which is less than 1 week. Now this is another extra information which you can read on, okay, about the nucleus in the erythrocyte. Okay, because just now we mentioned that without the nucleus, they can load more hemoglobin and hence will be very effective in transporting oxygen. But do you know that the red blood cells of the frogs, unlike human beings, they have nucleus? Now, what is the significance of that? Maybe you can read on it. Okay. And let's move on to the structure of hemoglobin. Okay, this which I've mentioned just now, this is the hemoglobin with the heme group and the iron in that. You know those pregnant mother, when they go to the clinic for follow-up, they'll be given iron tablets, isn't it? And iron is very important in forming the red blood cells for the mother itself and also for the baby. You can see the significance over here, the iron molecule. Right, and then this is a quaternary structure of protein in a hemoglobin, and one hemoglobin is able to bind with 4 oxygen. Okay, now we have the next blood cell, which is the leukocyte, and that is the white blood cells. So these are the characteristics. Their shape is not regular, it is not fixed, does not contain nucleus, does not contain hemoglobin. These are the characteristics which differ from the erythrocytes. But they are also produced in the bone marrow, and their lifespan is less than 5 days. Leukocyte can diffuse out of the capillary and fight pathogens in the tissue fluids. Okay, remember these tissue fluids. Later on in the chapter, we will be talking about these tissue fluids. What it is actually. Okay. Now, these white blood cells, they are divided into 2 types. These 2 types are the granulocytes and the agranulocytes. Okay, granulocytes means their cytoplasm is granular. Okay, granular, having granules. Okay, whereas the agranulocytes means their cytoplasm is clear without the granules. So you can see here, this is the cytoplasm, and their cytoplasms are without granule. And these 3, neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils, they are the 3 leukocytes that have granules in their cytoplasm, and their nuclei is lobe. Can you see it's like lobe over here, lobus, right? Mm, Now the characteristics of the cells, you have to know about it because yeah, they may ask this in exams, okay, maybe in objective questions. Now this granulocytes, the monocytes is the largest. Okay, they are the one that will become the phagocytic macrophages. Okay, they are the one that will be eating up those dead cells and also bacteria. And we have the lymphocyte, which is the smallest leukocytes, and that is the one we said producing antibodies to help in the destruction of pathogens and to neutralize toxins. Okay, and this um, neutrophils, okay, neutrophil, very easy to recognize the neutrophil by the loop, nucleus, okay, also by phagocytosis, like the monocyte just now. Eosinophil is the one that is responsible for allergic responses, and we have basophil, which will be secreting heparin. Okay, heparin is an anticoagulant. Okay, this is um, in opposite to the platelet. See, it doesn't want the blood to clot. So in certain situation, in when the blood is flowing in our body, we don't want it to clot, isn't it? All right. So this is the function of the basophil. All right. Okay. So maybe we stopped here.